Has quick thinking ever saved your life? I used to work maintenance at this huge apartment complex in Phoenix. Most days nothing crazy happened, but this one Tuesday morning changed everything. Mrs. Thompson from Building C called the office about some weird smell in her stairwell. My manager Jake rolled his eyes and said it was probably just someone burning plastic again. These tenants complain about everything, he said, but something about her voice seemed really worried, so I grabbed my toolbox and headed over. Walking into that building, I immediately smelled it too. It wasn't like burnt food or cigarettes. Growing up, my family had this ancient gas stove that leaked all the time. My dad would always sniff around the kitchen saying that gas companies add this sulfur smell so you know when there's a leak. This smell reminded me of that. I started walking every single floor trying to figure out where it was coming from. First floor smelled normal. Second floor, just a little weird. But by the third floor landing, it hit me like a wall. That rotten egg smell was so strong I almost gagged. Here's the thing though, this building was all electric. No gas heating, no gas stoves, nothing. So why would I smell gas? I kept thinking about what my dad taught me, that natural gas is actually odorless, but they make it smell gross on purpose so people notice leaks. My hands were literally shaking as I pulled out my phone to call Jake. He answered all annoyed like I was bothering him during his coffee break. I told him I think we have a serious gas leak and he just laughed. "There's no gas in that building," he said. "You're probably smelling someone's cooking." But I couldn't shake this feeling in my gut. What if I was right? What if there really was a leak somewhere and I just walked away? I'd worked at this complex for 3 years and never had a single complaint about my judgment. Plus, there were kids living in that building, elderly people, families. I made the biggest decision of my career. I went down to the basement and turned off the master gas valve for the entire building. If I was wrong, Jake would probably fire me. Tenants would be mad about no hot water, but if I was right, I might be saving lives. Then I called the fire department. 20 minutes later, 3 fire trucks showed up with their hazmat team. Jake came racing over, screaming at me about wasting city resources and embarrassing the company. The fire chief walked up to us holding some kind of electronic detector that was beeping like crazy. Turns out there was a completely corroded gas line behind the washing machine in Unit 307. The pipe had been slowly leaking for weeks, filling up the entire building with flammable gas. The fire chief said if someone had lit a cigarette or even turned on a light switch wrong, the whole building could have exploded. Jake tried to take credit for my quick thinking when the local news showed up. He told reporters that his team is always vigilant about safety, but Mrs. Thompson wasn't having it. She told them exactly what happened, how I listened when management didn't care. The next day, this grandmother from the second floor knocked on my apartment door with a $50 bill. She said her 2 grandkids lived with her and she wanted to thank me for keeping them safe. I didn't take the money, but I'll never forget how she hugged me. 3 families moved out that week anyway, too scared to stay. But the ones who remained still wave at me when I'm working.